Ohio State, Georgia, by the numbers. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. We break down the game we all love each and every day with you. Best discussion, debate, and analysis, not because of me, but because of your participation. We appreciate you being here. Please like the video, share the videos out on social media, subscribe. Why do you do that? Well, for a number of reasons, most notably because you hit that bell for the notifications to know when we go live to take your calls. All right. Understand we've got team channels all over the place as well. And please subscribe to those. All right, let's break down Ohio State and Georgia. I'm anticipating the comments down in the comments section that are going to bring up matchups and breaking down personnel. We have done that a number of times. Check out all the videos on the Georgia channel, the Ohio State channel, the SEC channel, and of course here on the main channel, breaking down Georgia personnel, Ohio State personnel, the matchups. We've done it a zillion times and we'll continue throughout the week right here at the Voice of College Football. So yes, the personnel matchups, the psyche means a ton. Yes, we got to put the numbers into context, but this is strictly a numbers video, numbers breakdown. If you don't think it means anything, number one, go watch another video, or number two, actually listen and understand that if you took this analysis to every game in the college football season, the team with the better statistics after a reasonable number of games coming into the game that they're taking on that particular matchup, the team with the better stats wins the game like 80-some% of the time. All right, let's break down Ohio State and Georgia and what the numbers mean, what they look like. Here we go. Buckeyes on offense, total offense in the country, number 6 at just under 500 yards per game. Georgia's total defense, number 8 in the country. I believe them to be better than that. I believe Georgia's got the best defense in the country, but they did give up yardage in that final SEC championship game to LSU that ballooned the final figure at 292. So if you look at beyond that, Ohio State's opponents defensively. So Ohio State produced the 6th best yardage per game offense in the country, but how good were the defenses Ohio State played? Well, they played 5 of the top 22, 6 of the top 25 in the nation. Now, again, we could take that to another level and say, okay, those are the defensive ranks of Ohio State's opponents, but how good are the opponents that they played? Well, that's another level, and we could play this game forever because then we could take it to the next degree after that. But we're unpeeling one valuable layer here. Ohio State's defensive opponents were very strong. They averaged number 46 in the country. Georgia compiled the number 8 total defense against offenses that ranked number 4 in the country, number 8 in the country. So two extremely good offenses. That would be Tennessee and Oregon. And then after that, a bit of a drop off. And then you see 3 of the worst offenses in the country at numbers 100, 107, and 113. Put it all together. And Georgia, in a composite 12-game schedule, we know that they played 13 games. We threw out the FCS game. Georgia played the 61st rated offense in the country. So if we put that all together, an Ohio State offense that averages 492 yards per game against the defense at 292 per game, also considering the strengths and weaknesses of the opponents that produced those yardage totals, both for Ohio State offensively and Georgia defensively, we've got the Buckeyes gaining 425 yards against Georgia in this game. Now let's look at yards per play. I believe this to be one of the best statistics in football, period, especially college football. Let's look at Ohio State offensively versus the Georgia defense. Buckeyes, number 2 in the country at 7.3 yards per play. Georgia defensively, 4.77 yards per play. That's top 15 in the country. Again, I believe Georgia to have the best defense in the country. I believe Ohio State to have one of the top 3 to 5 offenses in the country. The Buckeyes faced defenses. Yards per play, 5 of the top 15 in the country. You've got Iowa, you've got Michigan, you've got Notre Dame, and you've got others in that group. And then they faced 3 really bad defenses ranked 91, 92, and 99 in the country. It all comes together as a pretty strong defensive effort that the opponents put together over the course of the 22 season at number 40 in the country. Georgia's defense, again, number 14 in the country in yards per play against, taking on offenses that ranked number 1, that's Tennessee, number 8, that's Oregon, 15, 32, and on down the line, you see 5 of those offenses ranked in the top 43 in the country, and then on down the line, and they played one deplorable offense at number 117. It all adds up to number 58 in the country. So the Buckeyes average 7.3 yards per play against their schedule. Consider what Georgia's done. We believe that the Buckeyes should average about 5.8 yards per play in this game. Now on to pass efficiency, much more meaningful than total yardage per game. You can throw the ball 60 times a game. You can throw 4 picks. You can throw for a ton of meaningless completions and rack up yardage. Pass efficiency measures everything. If you're scoring the ball, if you're throwing picks, yardage per pass, yardage per attempt, the whole deal goes into pass efficiency, a much more reliable stat. The only thing it doesn't measure is the closeness of the game and if the passes are meaningful. That would be a QBR stat, but pass efficiency rates the effectiveness of the passing game and the explosiveness as well. Ohio State with the second best pass efficiency in the nation at 175 plus. The Georgia defense was number 11 in the country at 111.94. Ohio State's defenses, the ones that they played, ranked 2, 4, 6, and 11 in the country. 4 of the top 11 pass efficiency defenses in the country. You could guess who those are. Michigan, Iowa included, Penn State, and then it drops off a little bit from there, but still, we're looking at 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 of the top 50 pass defenses in the country based on efficiency, and 3 really bad ones at 119, 120, and 25. Again, the Georgia defense, number 11 defending the pass, taking on offenses that ranked number 1, Tennessee, 6, Oregon, and then a drop off to 29. South Carolina is in that 31 spot, and on down the line, 6 of the top 54 in the nation, and 2 really bad passing games that the Georgia defense faced at 116 and 117 added all together, and the composite pass offenses that the Bulldogs faced were number 60 in pass efficiency. So the Buckeyes' pass efficiency number typically at 175 when you add it all together for the 22 season. The defense of Georgia only gives up 111 points in pass efficiency per game. Add it all together. Consider the opponents, and the Buckeyes come out at 145 pass efficiency in this game against the Bulldogs. On to points per game. This is the one where it all comes together. Buckeyes, number 2 in the nation in points per game. Only scored, of course, the 23 against Michigan to close it out. Georgia, defensively, number 2 in the nation. Yes, we got the number 2 scoring offense against the number 2 scoring defense. And we've got the best defense in the country. And we've got arguably the best offense in the country. The defenses Ohio State faced all over the map, they were really good. 4, 6, 9, 24, 31. That's 5 of the top 31 defenses in the country in points per game given up. However, they faced some really bad defenses at 84, 94, 108, 121. So the figure comes out about marginal, slightly better than average in the nation at number 55, the defenses the Buckeyes faced. The offenses the Georgia defense faced in terms of producing points was the best offense in the country in points per game. Tennessee, Oregon, again, they're at 9. Then you see the big drop off to the likes of Kentucky, South Carolina, and others on the schedule there. A lot of in the 50s, 60s, and then some really bad offenses down there in the bottom 30 to 35 in the country. They add it all up together. It's number 62 is the composite offense that Georgia faced in scoring. So if you take the Buckeyes averaging about 45 points per game, the Georgia defense giving up about 13 points per game, then you take into consideration how good the defenses were Ohio State faced and the Georgia offenses, and you get the Buckeyes scoring about 31 points in this game against Georgia. Now let's flip it to the Georgia side of things, offensively against the Buckeyes defense. Georgia total offense, number 8 in the country, not far behind Ohio State. A yard per game, that's it. Ohio State's defense, number 11 in the country. Georgia's offense facing defenses that rank 17, 34, 40, 49, so that's 4 of the top 50 in the country. Then some really bad defenses that Georgia faced. 3, 6, 7 defenses lower than 80th in the country. Georgia faced some really bad defenses, if you think about it. Vandy, Georgia Tech, Auburn. The Ohio State opposing offenses were not very good. The best offense Ohio State faced in the nation was number 27. That's Michigan. Penn State right there at 33. And on down the line with the likes of Maryland and others. And Ohio State's defense, finished number 11 in the country in total yardage given up, but faced 2, 4, 6, 7 offenses ranked 91st or worse. Sure, Ohio State's defense ranked number 11 in the country in total defense, but it faced 7 offenses that ranked 91st or worse in the country. Iowa, Rutgers, Northwestern, Arkansas State, and others. So Ohio State's defense was improved this year, but they faced some really bad offenses. No question about that. They faced some capable offenses. Nobody ranked higher than number 27 in the country. Add it all up, and Georgia produces 492 in total offense, and the Buckeyes limit opponents to 303. I think Georgia's going to rack up about 430 yards of total offense in this game. Let's go to yards per play. Georgia, number 7 in the country, almost 7 yards per play. The Buckeyes defense, top 20 in the nation at 4.88 yards given up per play. The Georgia offense, again, faces some marginal defenses. The best in the Georgia schedule, number 41. So you've got LSU there, Kentucky there. They are the top defenses that the Georgia Bulldogs faced. Oregon had a bad defense, and 3 in the 100-plus range for the Georgia offense to face. The Buckeyes defense faced some really bad offenses as well. The best offense may have been Michigan, then probably Penn State and Maryland. Then you see a lot of Notre Dame and some of the middling rankings right there. And then on the back end, you see some bad offenses that the Buckeyes faced in Indiana, Iowa, etc. Rutgers, Arkansas State, Northwestern, number 114, 123, 126, 27, and 29. That's 4 of the bottom 8 offenses in the country, and then some really bad ones from there. So if you add it all up together in yards per play, the Buckeyes faced the 83rd ranked offense in the country, and Georgia's offense faced the number 72 defense in the country. Georgia averages almost 7 yards per play. They will average 6 against the Buckeyes according to the math here. Pass efficiency, Georgia in the top 20 in the nation at 156 per game. The Buckeyes defense not nearly as good as the rest of the defensive metrics for Ohio State at number 41 in pass efficiency defense. Georgia's opponents are stronger in pass defense than they were in total defense. You see 4 in the top 31, 5 in the top 50. So the pass defenses Georgia faced pretty strong in pass efficiency defense. They faced 2 to 4 really bad defenses. Number 72 is what it all boils down to. For the Buckeyes, their defense faced these pass offenses. Again, you're going to see Maryland, Michigan, Penn State near the top, Notre Dame near the top of these rankings, and then 4 horrendous pass offenses at number 119, 22, 23, and 29. Added up to number 75 being the pass offense average that Ohio State faced. Georgia's pass efficiency per game at 156. We'll add it up to 141 once they face the Buckeyes on defense. Now let's get down to the points per game. Georgia is not considered to have an explosive offense, but they do. And they've got a consistent offense against an Ohio State defense that played rather well, especially according to their comparison from 2021, but still showed holes against the likes of Penn State and Michigan. Georgia's points per game, number 11 in the country at 39 per. The defense that they faced, you see number 11 right there? That being Kentucky. Then there's a drop-off to number 44. And then they faced a lot of decent defenses in giving up points. Numbers 44, 46, 50, 59 are pretty decent. Not great, of course. And then a drop-off, but no really horrendous defensive showings by Georgia's opponents, excluding 93, 97, 125 right there. Ohio State's defense faced some really bad offenses. The best offense in terms of points per game, Michigan at 7. Then you got Penn State at 19. You've got the likes of Maryland in there as well. And then a number of teams in the Big Ten that you see right there, including Notre Dame. And then the really bad end of the Big Ten in 5 opponents that were the bottom 35 roughly in the nation in scoring points. So if you add it all together, the Buckeyes faced the 75th best offense in the country in terms of scoring. Georgia typically scores 39 points per game. The Buckeyes give up 19. So slice that in half, and you've got a 29-point effort for Georgia. Round that up because the Buckeyes face some bad defenses, and Georgia scores about 31 points in this game. Ohio State's done better in terms of turnover margin. They're +7. They had really good efforts against Penn State and Iowa in particular in 2 key wins. Georgia didn't fare well in terms of turnover margin, but good enough to go undefeated. They were even across the board, both the pluses and the minuses and turnovers, and we know turnovers usually decide a game against evenly matched teams. If it's a +2 on either side, then that's going to give about an 85% chance of victory for that team. Turnovers, difficult to predict, but again, the Buckeyes have fared better, but that generally based on 2 monster efforts in a 12-game season. We break it down right here at the Voice of College Football. Your thoughts about Ohio State trying to take down Georgia? Do the Bulldogs show what they've shown us all year to be the best team in the country, or does Ohio State put it together for a monumental upset as a 6.5-point dog? Your comments below right here at the Voice of College Football.